Breaking news! The Baltimore Ravens are once again making headlines for roster decisions, sparking fan discussion about potential changes that could redefine their defensive strategy. Throughout the season, we've seen the Ravens shuffle their roster on both sides of the ball. Offensive line, defensive line, and even the defensive backfield. Now the spotlight is on one of their top cornerbacks. I'll tell you all about these new updates in a moment. But first, I want to ask you a question. Do you think the Baltimore Ravens will make it to the Super Bowl this season? If so, hit that like button hard. And if possible, comment something like, "Nothing's gonna stop us. Go Ravens. We're gonna make it to the Super Bowl." Now let's talk about what's going on. Let's talk about him, one of our top cornerbacks, Brandon Stephens. His struggles this season have left many wondering if it's time for a change. Last year, Stephens was a revelation, displaying blocking cornerback skills that made him arguably the best in the Ravens secondary. But this season, he's been a relentless target for opposing offenses. When teams need a first down or a big play, they seem to go after Stephens. While he's made a few plays, the negatives have outweighed the positives, and it's clear he's having a tough time. As much as the Ravens fan base wants him to bounce back, the consistency just isn't there. Marlon Humphrey remains the team's cornerstone at cornerback, able to play both inside and outside positions seamlessly. Rookie Nate Wiggins, however, has shown flashes of potential and could be a viable alternative as a starting outside corner opposite Humphrey. The idea of shaking up the depth chart has gained traction, especially after a recent strong showing by Travius White. White, despite limited snaps in the last game, delivered an impressive performance. When targeted, he held his ground, even against formidable opponents like George Pickens. It's moments like these that make fans wonder, why not give White or Wiggins a larger role? One option could be to bench Stephens, not in the sense of sidelining him completely, but to relieve him of his role as the primary outside corner. Using him more strategically, as a versatile chess piece in the secondary, might better suit his current form. Stephens has experience at safety and can play both inside and outside cornerback roles. His physicality and adaptability could make him an asset in situational football, rather than a liability in coverage. The Ravens have precedent for making bold decisions when it comes to underperforming players. Earlier this season, they benched Marcus Williams, a player with a hefty $70 million contract, because the team needed better results at the safety position. Compared to Williams, Stephens' third-round pick status and smaller contract make it easier to adjust his role without major financial implications. If the team is willing to bench a highly paid star for the greater good, it's not unreasonable to consider doing the same for Stephens. And then there's the matter of Justin Tucker, the usually reliable kicker who has faced unusual struggles this season. Tucker's missed field goals have played a role in some of the team's losses, and fans are beginning to question whether Father Time has caught up with him. While some attribute the issues to holding or snapping, others point squarely at Tucker. The Ravens, however, are unlikely to bring in competition for Tucker, given their loyalty and his storied career. Still, his missed kicks have been costly, and it's an issue the team cannot ignore.
Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll dive deeper into injury updates, Roquan Smith's status, and why the Ravens' identity this season feels like it's still a work in progress. For now, we want to hear from you. What's your take on Brandon Stephens? Should the Ravens shake things up in the secondary? And what's your confidence level in Justin Tucker bouncing back? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. The Baltimore Ravens sit at 7-4 on the brink of securing a playoff spot, with a 95% playoff probability according to NFL.com and 94% from The Athletic. Confidence should be high. A Monday Night Football win against the Los Angeles Chargers would boost that number to 99%. Even a loss only drops it to 91%. But are fans truly confident the Ravens are heading in the right direction? There's plenty to like. The offense is one of the most dynamic in the league, and the defense is surging after benching Marcus Williams and Eddie Jackson in favor of Kyle Hamilton and Darius Washington. The pass rush is also improving after a rocky start. With a roster stacked with talent, the Ravens have the tools to dominate. Yet, recurring issues linger. Self-inflicted wounds like penalties and special team struggles, from Justin Tucker's uncharacteristic misses to return unit errors, hold the team back. Losses to rivals like the Chiefs and Steelers highlight the Ravens' inability to consistently beat elite teams, echoing frustrations from past seasons. The question remains, can the Ravens fix these mistakes and fulfill their potential? They have the talent. Do they have the execution? Let us know what you think. Brandon Stephens' future with the Baltimore Ravens continues to be a hot topic of conversation, and the potential reshuffling on defense is one that could have long-lasting effects on the team's performance. While Stephens has struggled this season, the conversation isn't about riding writing him off. Instead, it's about putting him in a position to succeed. By using him as a versatile chess piece, the Ravens could tap into his ability to contribute as a cornerback or safety in a way that maximizes his skill set while minimizing his exposure to high-risk situations. For a player like Travis White, whose limited snaps against Pittsburgh impressed, this could mean a significant opportunity. White's determination to prove himself reminiscent of his strong performances during his Buffalo days has fans wondering if he could be the shake-up the Ravens need at corner. His ability to step up in high-pressure situations and challenge receivers could provide a much-needed boost to the secondary. Coupled with Nate Wiggins' potential to grow into a starter opposite Marlon Humphrey, these adjustments might offer the Ravens a more solid and consistent defense against the league's top offenses. Shifting the focus to special teams, Justin Tucker's uncharacteristic struggles this season have been a surprise to many. The most reliable kicker in NFL history missing crucial field goals has sparked debates among fans about whether the Ravens should consider bringing in competition. Despite the calls for change, the organization's loyalty to Tucker is evident. His track record and ability to handle pressure are unmatched, and the team's commitment to him suggests they believe this is a temporary slump rather than a long-term decline. When looking at injuries, Roquan Smith's absence from practice raised some eyebrows, but context offers a more optimistic perspective. Smith's stellar game against the Steelers, where he demonstrated elite playmaking, reassured fans of his critical role in the Ravens' defense. His ability to trust the revamped safety group behind him seemed to elevate his performance. While his current hamstring issue caused him to sit out practice, his presence on the sideline during the game suggests the injury isn't severe. The Ravens' depth at linebacker, with players like Malik Harrison and Trenton Simpson ready to step up, provides some insurance if Smith needs more time to recover. Speaking of safety, the Ravens' decision to bench Marcus Williams despite his hefty $70 million contract exemplifies the organization's willingness to prioritize performance over finances. This move underscores the message that no player is above being replaced if it means improving the team's overall performance. It's a philosophy that could very well extend to other positions if necessary, reinforcing the Ravens' commitment to accountability. The Ravens' roster challenges aren't isolated to individual players or positions. The underlying theme is clear: consistency. Whether it's cleaning up offensive turnovers, tightening up the secondary, or figuring out why the Ravens struggle against teams like the Steelers and Chiefs, the team's issues are fixable. The talent is there. It's about execution and making the necessary adjustments to ensure the Ravens capitalize on their potential. So, what do you think, Ravens fans? Should Brandon Stephens move to a more versatile role? Can Travis White and Nate Wiggins step up to solidify the secondary? And how do you feel about Justin Tucker's slump? Should the Ravens bring in competition or trust him to rebound? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments below.